Hey everybody, it's Ryan Anderson here with the Anderson Group in Denver, Colorado. And what you're looking at right here is our biweekly update. A lot of people are wondering, what's really going on with the real estate market? Where is it really? Because I hear multiple things. Some people are selling their house fast. Some people are waiting 6 months to get their home sold. What's really going on? Well, this is a map of the real data. So this is the MLS, and you're backstage here looking at data, and I want to show you what I've circled here. This is really the greater Denver metro area, that reaches pretty much down to Colorado Springs, all the way up to Fort Collins or Loveland. And then you've got all the way to Idaho Springs and out to Strasburg and some of this eastern plains. But most of the sales happen right in the heart of Denver. And as you can see here, in the last 7 days, these are the sales that have happened all around Denver, and that adds up to a number that if we really look at it as one, it's 1,897 homes have gone active in the last 7 days. So this is the last week. Okay, take a guess at how many went under contract in the last 7 days. All we got to do is come into here and go to pending and go 0 to 7, and we can see what the map says here. 1,400. So new properties on one hand is active, 1,800 properties plus. Amount that went under contract was 1,400. So that immediately tells us what? That less homes are going under contract than are coming on the market. So we're seeing more inventory slowly build as our properties are coming on the market and they're not selling right away. So there's less homes selling that are coming. So it's starting to accumulate. Then the other interesting piece of information that I'm going to update you on every 7 days or every 2 weeks is going to be this. It's going to be price decreases. So all we got to do is really look at this stat right here. In the last 7 days, let's take our little marker right here. In the last 7 days, how many homes have gone and had a price reduction? 3,137 homes. That includes pretty much the same radius as I was just showing you. So if we've only had 1,800 homes come on the market, 1,400 of those went under contract, but 3,100 of them did price reductions. That's showing us a very interesting piece of information, that these properties that are going under contract are either have priced it correctly or they've gotten to the point where they've done a number of price reductions to get to the right number. This is another page that I want to show you. This shows us percentage of closed properties to list. So what did they close at, and what were they not originally? What were they last listed for? Right here, and this shows the median. So back in 2024, I'll move this out of the way here. Back in January 2024, it was like 99% was you're selling your home for 99% of your value. And then now, if I move this over, we're seeing it dropped. It went up and then it dropped back down in early 2025. Now it's back up to about 100%, but that is not inclusive of price reductions. It's 100% of that final list price. So you got to combine the two data to really understand what's going on. These price decreases are equating to what then goes under contract. That's 1,400 properties that went under contract are now at a price point that they're willing to sell. So it's really good time for buyers to try and get a great offer on a property without thinking they've got to, pay full price, unless it's to the point that it's finally gotten down to that price that makes sense. And it's not always that initial list price. Be prepared for a seller to make a few concessions or price reductions before, that final price gets accepted. And then sellers are starting to really understand that they may not be able to get that price that was really their market value last year. They're starting to see a really strong market movement to get a property sold. You're going to have to make it a very fair price and a price that the buyers can afford with these interest rates. And speaking of these interest rates, here's what we're looking at. This is today's mortgage rates, 6.83% for a 30-year fixed, or a 15-year fixed at 6.8, our 30-year jumbo 6.93. So these are current. This is what's happening right now, and there's a lot of talk right now on whether Jerome Powell is going to stay in his position or not, and how that's going to affect the market if he does get fired, or if they do make a price reduction with him in the office, or if the people that succeed him will, you know, make significant rate adjustments. It's all really up in the air right now. But I can tell you that interest rates are stopping a lot of people right now from pulling the trigger. And so that could make a huge difference. Let's check back in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you what's going on then. See any new movement. We'll kind of track this as it moves along. But have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful next 2 weeks, and I'll see you on our next visit. Bye for now.